that volume is way up there because of my stream last night. Hello, everybody. How are we all doing today? Give me 1 second while I change that volume way the hell down. There we go. How's everybody doing? Good?
Oh, you know.
Don't you know?
Don't you know?
I saw that Celsius was here and we had to go live immediately. I was like, oh, Cell's here. Hi, Cell. How you doing, buddy? It's been so long. I miss you. I miss you. I'm sorry about, you know, what I did to you in our session not too long ago, but holy shit, look at these big bombs being dropped left and right. Jesus Christ. Oh God, thank you so much, Vance. And before that, let's see. It was first Vance with some gift subs, then Vance at 500. Thank you so much for the bitty bits. Oklo for the 1,000 and Vance for the 5,000. Jesus Christ, boys. I very, very, very much appreciate it. But why don't we jump into our fun cast of characters here and the interesting scenarios they found themselves in. And I did press record. So fuck you, Neil. Last time when we played, your characters had walked out of Reddit Slav with the dark night lit up behind you with a different array of colors as different magical instruments or scrolls or whatever they were kind of like lit ablaze and changed the elements or the magics that were kind of like blowing out of the shop that was on fire. There was a couple of corpses left inside of an inn and a lot of questions that a few people wanted answers. You decided that, unfortunately, you were leaving yourself in a scenario where others might be able to track you, find out who did what, and so on. So instead of continuing to walk away, you decided to turn back and go and rectify some of the slight mistakes that you made. Unfortunately, there may have been a little bit of a stumble against the cobblestone roads that you were walking along, and maybe even a tumble for one of you, as you realized that trying to retrieve those bodies, or at least one of them, was going to be a bit more difficult than you had planned for. Bumping into an innkeeper and a patron of that tavern, or that inn, my apologies, a couple of guards severing of a head from its body and still bringing both chunks with you as you left. You guys made a bit more of a mess and a bit of a name for yourself as guards were promised gold that couldn't be delivered, and fake names were given in a strange scenario, and your faces were certainly seen for extended periods of time. Though luckily at night, right? One of you sat outside the city where they had one small task. While delivering the wagon around to the northern edge, keep an eye on Ka. They failed miserably. But on the plus side, a well-beloved, we're going to say person, they're definitely a person, came in and had a bit of a visit where it was a pleasant conversation, a little bit of touching, and a new power seemed to be inflicted upon our gnomish friends. The characters had another argument, not only for killing the gnome from before, but also how it is that they're supposed to dispose of the body. And then things kind of started to come together. A little bit of pity over over Laszlo and his affliction that allows him to listen to the dead speak. But at the same time, one of those dead taught him how to give some safeguards or defenses to Oscar against magical attacks in the future. I think where we left off was not many miles further away from the town than when we started, but with a bit more of a bond between each of the characters from what you had gone through. I'm now going to kind of toss it over to your characters, not in-game, but out of game, in reminding us the approach that you're taking, where it is that you want to go to next, and how it is you're taking that approach.
Well, someone needs to
yeah, I need to pick up my shit.
That's the very first step. And then I think we were leaning towards slave rebellion.
Well, we're leaning towards going to the capital and getting information first, and then maybe potentially sparking slave rebellion.
No, straight to slave rebellion.
All right.
Let's
Well,
do
you
it.
know, we'll see what happens.
Okay.
Look, the political game is not my frontier. That's all you guys. You do whatever you want. I'm just along for the ride. That's why I need my shield, because you guys are going to get me into shenanigans where I'm going to get killed, probably. We'll see what happens.
Wait, you cut yourself?
What? Is that what you got out of all that?
You're good.
So yeah, so the plan is to quickly stop off at the town that was housing my shield and spear and armor. Let me gear up, and then have us go to what's the capital of Yovance again?
The capital of Yovance is it bad that I don't know?
Yeah, can we just have a map? Because
you do
it
actually
makes
have a map. It's right. Oh, you mean as a handout? I don't think I gave you one as a handout.
Yeah, that would
yeah,
be very
like
helpful.
I'm legit.
Okay.
I'm sorry, the worst role player, and I don't know what half of I don't know which of these countries were like.
Doxy, I have these maps in my other games. I don't have it in yours because I'm a terrible person. I'm going to set that up for you right now.
RK.
I would love that.
Archie. We're going to Archie. All right.
I just want to check something really quick. Yep, cool. Yep, RK is the name of it, I believe.
So do we actually want to go straight to RK, or do we want to work our way down that road? Because if you look, there's a river that has a bunch of places on the way.
I actually really like the idea of traveling down that river and going down the road.
And starting to make a name for Chrysalin's character, I guess. You know, instead of jumping straight into the shark's den, the lion's pit or whatever. But it's Chrysalin is the specialist.
From a metagame standpoint, I agree. Oscar would not know anything at all about this. So
What's expected of me? I'm sorry, I was flirting. I'm sorry.
I didn't see you roll 4 stunt dice. I did not see you roll 4 stunt dice, let's be clear.
We were saying that taking that river passage down from the lake and hitting those towns to start building a story and a reputation for your character.
Oh,
in
sure.
those towns.
Yeah. Make me I'll do some good deeds and whatever. I'll pay for everybody's coffee at Starbucks. It'll be good.
But
no, I won't, because Will threw away my gold.
yeah,
Ouch.
correct.
To be clear,
Will didn't, Oscar did.
you guys are going all the way down to the capital. You don't have to go all the way to the capital to find people that happen to be in charge. Granted, the politics of Yovance are something that doesn't really matter. We've heard a million times and listened to different campaigns how Paradel works. It's 9 provinces or whatever. Yovance Arcade might happen to be the capital, but I mean, it's realistically, like I've said a bunch of times beforehand, this place is kind of run by a group of very, very, very wealthy merchants. So finding any of those merchants and their homes is just another way of getting kind of like an ear bent. And the closer you are to their home, the more interested they might be in aiding you with whatever it is you're trying to do. So if you're looking for speaking to the leadership of Yovance, you might want to actually, for something that affects a Malta, you might actually want to stick to the northern parts of Yovance. If you're looking specifically for these slave rebellion areas, that's a different thing entirely. Which one were you leaning towards? My apologies.
Well, I think we have to build her reputation first before we can start
should
working
do
on
in
the
the
other
north.
one.
I'm gonna need to do some good ass deeds.
Yeah. I mean, so here's just random Josh thought. If we start with maybe you being the middle person between contacts between noble families or merchant families, that could get your a name out there, right? And then eventually, maybe if there's an opportunity, we move from there. But
How do you propose we do it?
by crying in front of them, I don't no idea.
Doxy,
I just
gave you those handouts.
maybe if we talk to them and we find out what families they're having troubles with and try to smooth it out, so that we can be those people that created that business connection. I don't know. Just my idea.
Well, fudge Dugans, man. I don't know. I just don't know what to do. I think actually what would be best would be to go into one of these big cities and do volunteer work for the cities, for the governments, and find out things about noble families. And then we would have to worm our way into the noble families. Does that make sense? Like, because that's all of this is going to be a slow progress, and you might as well turn the trump cards back on. Is all I'm saying. Like, I don't think that we will be able to.
I think you're onto something.
Today.
I think you're onto something, but I don't think volunteering is going to work in a slave country, because they're going to have the low end.
Oh, but yes, it will though, because I'm not an unskilled commoner, right? Like, I have the right breeding, I have the right upbringing, I have the right training to do stuff that they need done that they might not have a specialist for. You guys also. And I can be like, also look who I brought with me.
Right. I was misunderstanding with the volunteer. Like, I'm thinking like soup kitchen, but
yeah, no,
that's
definitely not like we're gonna
I definitely
go,
thought
like,
soup kitchen as well.
Build sheds for people or anything.
Oh, I mean,
like,
I can do that.
No, walk into the city and I'll just be like, hey, I'm fucking awesome at talking. Let me talk for you.
Well, so Doxy, instead of just trying to kind of guess this through or whatever, you guys actually are. This is what your forte is: knowing these people, how to approach them, so on and so forth. You can actually just make a skill check for me.
Okay.
And so what I'm gonna have you do, as I'm trying to find my little cheat sheet for Fantasy Age. One second. Throne Keeper. It's that one that I still have to. I always have to look up to where it is that you have it. I don't think I ever pinned. We ever pins those in chat for me.
I've put it in the actual Twitch chat now, so that everyone
can look at it. Yeah, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
We should honestly make that a command over in Twitch chat, which we're gonna do shortly. So, Doxy, it's gonna be intelligence. And you probably don't have this.
I don't.
I guess it's going to be historical lore. No. Give me one sec. Communication.
Heraldry.
I'm actually going to say communications. There's going to be more of an etiquette or a leadership for this one. Etiquette's going to be for higher end, leadership for leading the lessers. And let me show that on screen.
Ooh.
Wow.
18 with 4 stump points. That's beautiful.
That's going to have to be degree of success here.
No,
I mean,
flirt with the air.
Flirt.
that is going to have to be degree. It's actually technically exploration. You could use it for if you thought of something exploration wise that you might be able to use that for. And while Doxy is looking at exploration, seeing if something sticks out for her for the stunt dice, 2 things. One, does my volume sound better compared to everybody else now? Should I turn it up anymore? Is it good? And 2, can we all give Josh a huge thank you? Josh took the old what is it called, API that was being used for this, and he actually kind of rewrote it and mixed in our typical API that he made for us for the other campaigns, so we can actually do things like luck dice and daddy's dice and whatnot built in. So
Josh, you precious man, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Josh. It makes it so we can actually keep track of these better. We can just click a button, everything's easier, so on and so forth. And that way, you guys actually don't know how many are left in your pool unless you actually roll the dice the way it's supposed to be. So, all right. Doxy, you have an 18. Did you want to use those stunt on anything or no thank you?
It has to be degree of success, right?
It can be. I just turned up my volume a little bit more. Let me actually bump it up over here too.
You sound great, honestly.
Yeah, it's funny because
anyway, I'm not listening to stream.
It's funny now. I'm looking at it and it's actually showing me peaking a bit instead of just sitting green.
I do hear you peaking slightly.
Yeah, because I turned up the gain too much, so I'm gonna turn it back down a little bit and
just turn us down, and everybody else can turn their volume.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna end up doing. That's fine.
Can.
I'm gonna turn you down just a smidge. That's okay. It's gonna be a fiddle. We're gonna figure it out this session, next session, whatever it is. Cool.
I'm loud AF anyway.
You could do resources at hand.
Yeah, if there's a follow-up skill check that might make
it's a focus.
Yeah,
you get to pick a focus.
Okay.
You don't have that falls under the same ability as
like maybe heraldry.
Well,
it's gonna try to look up family.
It was a communication check, right? So
no,
well, I just don't know. I would not know
Mm.
what one to take without the information that this role gives me, right? I would like to use it for degree of success because 4 is really high.
Perfect. No, that's perfectly fine. That's fine. So what we're going to do is you guys are kind of having a conversation about how it is you're going to try to appeal to the people here. Before I answer your question, just remind me, we're trying to appeal to the people, not to the leadership of the nation, correct?
Both, if possible.
Both if possible, because you're trying to appeal to, my apologies, the
Here's the
general
question:
masses.
Are you doing a slave rebellion, or are we doing the let's appease the merchant class? That's
I think
the.
merchant class first is what we decided.
I mean, I have no preference.
Yeah, our original plan was to appeal to the merchant class, gain their trust, and then start a slave rebellion.
Yeah, behind their back, stab
Like,
them in the back.
legit.
So if it's specifically not the people that you're going for, it's the merchant class, that's actually going to be pretty easy. Doxy, this is going to be doing what you do best, flaunting how amazing you are. This is a place where they are. It's a slave-owned nation, right? It's where it's an oligarchy where only the most wealthy, the most powerful are the ones that are kind of in charge here, there, so on and so forth, right? So you know that by just walking out there and just being that minx, being that like I strut my stuff kind of person, you're going to get their attention, and they're going to it's that whole success breeds success mentality. When they see how amazing you are, when they see how easy it is that you are incredible, they just like, I want more of that. I need to have that in my life. So they're going to gravitate towards you. They're going to attract you to them versus the other way around, which is you trying to be like, guys, can we be friends? It's one of those like, I'm busy. Take a number. And that is going to be like catnip for them. So you know that that's going to be the one approach you're going to want to take for most of the higher up class, right? Treating them like you're too good for them. It's going to get under their skin. Cool.
Well, I was also going to kind of use this opportunity while talking to the elite to be like, we got robbed on the road and I need gold, and figure out a way that we could get some gold.
So you're trying to do a combination of the
it's like, love me from there. And shower me with adoration as well.
Yeah, you're trying to get a loan, but that's actually again, for a typical person, I know, actually alone, I'm joking, but for a typical person, that actually might be very difficult for you to try to pull off being amazing, but also
disagree, because hold on, hear me out. You're the storyteller, so obviously do what you want to do. But I think that them having an interest in her and her being like, I need help, would start kind of a bidding war for who could help her the best.
I can see what you're saying with that one. Let me actually say that, like I was saying beforehand, for the average person, no. But again, you're a jewel of Eroth. You're specifically a diamond. This is like having people vying for you is literally your job. Having a, like coming up with somebody's name, like, Natalia, what is my plans looking like for this weekend? Oh, Chris Ellen, let me show you. There is a whole docket that you can select from. And it's literally like you sit down and you have like a morning cup of coffee or tea or whatever it is that Chris Ellen does in the morning, and like her getting ready robes. And there's literally like a packet of different profiles of clients that she can choose between to fill up her weekend. You know what I mean? Like, you're a person that's used to being vied for. So this is, I think it's actually going to be walking through and strutting your stuff, not to the lesser people, but to the higher people, is going to be the easy thing. Now, somebody actually gave to you, and you can thank, who is this? Oklo for the stunt double. Doubled your stunt, which you wanted to use for degrees of success, meaning you actually got an 8 for a degree of success, which is, it's like, but it goes to 11. So because of that, you actually are going to be able to know not only that is what you want to do to succeed with the people, but if you actually choose the right merchants to kind of like focus on, and you treat them the right way, like it's one of those, you know how you can be like playful, you can be both vying for their attention, getting it, but almost like negging them. You know what I mean? If doing that the right way in front of the right servants is going to get them thinking, ooh, is she on our side or is she on that side? I don't know. Like, that going in the right core areas and tossing a wink and, oh, excuse me one second. Dean Cuddy, you sexy bitch. I love you. Oh man, I just want to fly across the pond and spank that big old bottom of yours. How you doing, boyo? Oh, I love Dean. Sorry.
I love Dean. One of
yeah.
my best friends in this life. Shout out, Diener.
But in the next life, it's me, right?
Anyway, so back.
Wow!
Just kidding. You know I love you.
That was beautiful.
Oh God.
I'm just demonstrating what Chris Ellen's gonna be getting up to here in a second.
Ouch. So
No,
yeah,
I
fair
love
enough.
you, I'm
Fair
sorry.
enough. She was just fair enough. Okay. So you know that what you're going to want to do is, of course, play the cards the right way depending on which court you happen to be in. I use the phrase court, of course, kind of loosely, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
We're referring to these oligarchies, right? So
Right.
that's going to be kind of the approach here. Now, for the nitty gritty of this sort of a thing, of this approach, that's kind of like the concept that Chris Ellen comes up with. You can kind of take that idea and feel free to deliver it to them, and you guys can kind of decide from there.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Boys, you good?
Yeah, I'm good. Got it. Thanks, Chris Ellen.
That was Doxy, not Chris. Okay.
So I'll re-describe everything, but this time as Chris Ellen. All right, boys, here we go. Okay, the plan here is I'm gonna go and flirt with all
That's
the
the
right
worst.
people.
Why do you sound like Marilyn Monroe? Like,
I'm sexy. Oh, is Marilyn
no, I
Monroe
said sound like.
yes. Is it Mr. President? I'll sing it for you.
Yeah, no, please.
So those ones look like they have the most money. I think that if I entertain the stall next to theirs in the market, that I could drum up a little jealousy. And we could get people vying to help us, bidding to help us. And of course, I won't expect handouts. I will have to do what I do. In exchange for help, I will have to take a job. Perhaps you will have to take a job. But
hold on. What kind of job will we have to take?
well, you specialize in murder.
That's not true.
It's kind of true.
It is true. Look, I'm that's fine. The way you phrased that, I wasn't necessarily clear if you were implying something else.
Not one of my jobs.
I'm glad to hear that. We're okay. Continue.
That's my plan.
Oscar kind of, shrugs and just kind of looks at Laszlo and says, "You want to come on a murder job?"
Well,
It might be, they might not need any murder jobs. It might be me accompanying someone to the theater.
I'm just
Hope so.
wondering. I was wondering if you're getting good with these people, maybe if you get me access to a library, I might be able to assist you in gathering information or something. A lot of social issue interactions I'm not very good at. People.
Laszlo, I could get your hands on some books without getting in good with these people. It's just a matter of finding the books.
Well, I was thinking, more importantly, if I was able to get access to their lineage.
That could be helpful. It's not something that I store. Can just draw out whenever I like. That could be good. That's good thinking. That's smart.
Okay. Other than that, I guess I'm your chauffeur.
Take it on the bodyguard again.
I mean, unless you'd like to switch roles.
No.
That's all right.
No, I'm
Okay.
good.
I mean, Laszlo, I think you do a fine job as bodyguard.
It's hard to guard a body when everyone's taller than you. That was.
I feel like that sometimes makes it easier, depending on what kind of guarding you're trying to do. If you're trying not to be seen,
I was trying to be funny.
I tend to stand out.
We will have to make a show of how important I am.
Okay. What should we do?
Do know that I take every pleasure in this. But I don't demand it as a regular day-to-day thing. There's going to be ways that you're going to have to make me look special.
Okay.
Perhaps, and she goes and digs around in one of her trunks and grabs out a bottle of perfume and hands it to Laszlo and says, "You just spray this in front of me as I walk every once in a while."
Okay. Do we know how these people feel about magic?
Do we know how these people about magic, Scott?
So there's not a lot of magic in the nation as a whole, because you have to remember, like, the number, when you're looking at like the population, the vast majority of people are either slaves or indentured servants or of the servants level. And that is, again, that is the vast majority. We're talking greater than 50% of the population. Even the free people are, because of like the wealth gap, they're not very much money. So things like getting official like a magic schooling is not something that they're really going to have access to. And you can imagine anybody who's born with magic, they would be, especially if they were born as a servant with magic, they would be cultivated pretty, either killed off or cultivated pretty young for this or that, because they would have a lot of value, right? So if you're inside the home of one of these merchants, then sure, yeah. If you're actually inside one of their homes or their estates, there will definitely be magic there, because it's powerful and that gives them value. But if you're talking about just in the general streets, even just seeing like a regular street magician, like not actual arcane magic or whatever, but like just like parlor tricks that you would see in real world, something like that would probably amaze people, because they don't get to see very much, right? And just to take a step back to something Doxy said at the start of this RP between you guys, she said, when I see that this stall is better than that one, that was kind of not actual like merchant stall, because she's not going to be wasting her time down in the marketplace. She means like someone's abode or someone's actual estate. So, but it's kind of like one of those speaking in terms that you boys understand.
So I have an idea that could make you stand out. I'm saying we're just talking and we're near our cart. So I'll just say, Oscar, can you hold a couple of torches next to the cart where Chris Allen will get out? I can light them as soon as you walk out, so it brightens and it pulls everyone's attention to you.
I can hold torches, yes.
I mean, if we fix them to the wagon, like on each side of the door, so when you step out.
Do you think that when I step out of a wagon, people don't automatically look?
I didn't mean it like that.
At night?
I guess.
No, see, this is just how I'm going to treat you. Oh, this is going to be what fun.
I need to go get my spear and shield and armor before we go anywhere. But yes, I can affix some basic sconces to this cart, I'm sure.
Yeah. I can even have a servant, an invisible servant, open the door for her. Maybe roll out a small carpet if we had something.
Can you make me glitter?
No.
Once more with
Sorry.
healing.
Well, if we purchase glitter, I'm sure we can make you glitter.
I could spray glitter in your face.
Full of poison. No.
Is it really?
Oh, yes.
Oh.
The noble women get sick often.
Oh, delightful.
Why wear it then?
Because it's pretty.
Okay.
Oscar just shrugs at Laszlo to then. All right. Well, I need to get my stuff. We need to get across the border. We need to get across the other border and then back again across the border and then down to these cities to...
We have 19 gold. Don't bribe him too much, and I'll give the 19 gold to Kerselin, because that's how we got through the border last time.
Hopefully we won't have to bribe them at all.
I mean, do they care if people are leaving?
It's Parendale. Like, they care about everything. They're ruthless.
Do they care about everything?
I don't know. This is the first time I'm here.
Okay, well, fair enough. I mean, look, the general populace isn't the government. I have a feeling that even some of the guards are going to treat it just like some of the Maltese guards treat it. Just a job. And I don't think that they're going to be that worried about it. Now, some of them will be, absolutely. And if we do see one who we've already seen, then perhaps a bribe will need to happen. But Grizel and I trust you fully on this, and I don't want to worry about it.
Would I know the name of the people that command the guards at the bridge?
Unfortunately, that kind of minute information you wouldn't have, especially on the Paradise side where people switch positions fairly often because it's like a military structure where it's
Or
not.
like literally any public figure that they would fear.
So I mean, if you're specifically over on the Paradise side, not the Yovant side, where obviously you guys are allies, you could be honest with them if you need to be.
Right.
Give me a moment, por favor. There we are. And we're specifically talking about Jovencia. So in Jovencia, the Jovenhir is like the prince of Jovencia. Their name is actually Haven Jovance.
Haven Jovance, got it.
Almost illegally. Haven Jovance was born into the Krengal family. Fun fact for the multi-campaign watchers. Was born into the Krengal family. Yeah. And specifically over here, just checking.
He's the prince, you said?
Correct. Prince is just the title of whoever it is that rules the this nation, this chunk, this province of Paradel.
Which province is that?
The Jovencia.
Okay.
Yep. Remember, it was named as like a mocking of the part of the nation that they're taking away, which is Jovance. Sure. So is that Jovance, Jovencia? Yay! Thanks, Scott. No problem. And the CMDR of the area is actually going to be Epra Sihar. So EPRA is the first name, last name SIHAR Sihar. So the commander Epra Sihar is going to be like, who is the person that's in charge of this area? You know what I mean? Okay. So. That is the interest that you would have. Cool.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yep. You're welcome.
Gentlemen, let's cross a bridge.
Oh, sorry. I'm going to give you one more bit of information. I'm so sorry. Your character.
Just livid that you're going to give me more to work with.
So again, this is for people like Joey that knows a lot of the minutia details. This is kind of not a good thing politically for Paradel, but that's fine. So would you actually spend time with the commander if you're going to throw that name out there? Or would you spend time with the more or less the person? The Cry is the name of the position, K''REI. But the Cry, would you spend time with more or less the mayor or like the ruler of the area, or like the commander, like the military leader of the area? Because there's like three primary positions, and one is the commander and one is like the leader. Who would Chris Ellen throw the name out of?
I was thinking the prince himself, because they're not going to have access to him.
Sure.
To corroborate my story.
Sure. Then why don't you go ahead and roll me a intelligence historical lore check to see if you know this other bit of information. You were on a 16. That's sexy. What's up, Josh?
I was gonna say, can I, if she relays this to us eventually, can I do the same?
You don't need to. She's got it. The person that is the Cry or that's the name of like the almost like mayoral or leader position. It's the first name. It's Mokela, Mokela. Last name Krengal.
Okay.
So it's and anytime that somebody has that position, the first name actually has a lowercase k apostrophe than the first name, so it's Kamakela. Krengal is their name. Don't worry about that. Shvan. What? Scott has a reason for one of the other campaigns to bring their campaign closer to the other two campaigns? What? No. I didn't plan that.
Right.
Yeah, I definitely didn't plan that a year ago.
That's not right.
No.
What are you talking about?
I definitely wouldn't have done that a year ago prior to this campaign or that campaign existing. Definitely wouldn't have done that. No way. I'm new to this whole DMing thing. So, Doxy, that's the information you have. Use it as you wield your sword.
Gentlemen, let's cross a bridge.
So when you guys go reapproaching the bridge, I mean, I know it seems so innocuous. You're just crossing a bridge, but it is the border crossing, and there are guards here. And while certainly Laszlo and Oscar can make pretty quick work of these men, anytime you engage in combat, there's a chance that your life is put on the line. You know what I mean? But on the flip side of that, you're also putting the lives of other people that don't necessarily need to be injured on the line as well. So when you go to cross the bridge, it's one of those fun things as you cross. It's only been so many days. It's been less than a week, right? So all of the guards that are here are the same guards as before on the Paradise side. So when they see you walking back up, they remember you. You tossed them a good amount of coin, and they were pretty happy. So as you guys go approaching, it's one of those, they stand there, they're like lazily looking at you, blah, 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 blah. And then you, once they kind of like realizes you, one of them like taps the other one, the one that was kind of like whacking the other person before. You see he's kind of like hitting the other guy's like, look, here it is. And he comes walking up to you, he's like, hey, how you doing? Was it Felicia?
Luthera.
Luthera, so close.
I'm having a very bad day.
Oh.
I'd really like to cross. You know my story. I really must be going.
I'm so sorry that you're having a bad day. What happened?
Well, on my way out of the home of Haven Yovance, I was attacked in the street before I could meet up with my bodyguard. I'm having a very bad day. I need to go to this business meeting. I need to clear my head on the road, and I would like to get to it.
Oh, I understand. Actually, roll me a a communications check, because you're actually trying to be portray empathy, so he's not going to squeeze you
I
for
have
coin.
empathy.
No, empathy's that's different. I mean, you're
Okay.
yeah.
I'm trying to garner empathy.
You do have a 13 with 2 stunt die, assuming you succeeded. It's up to you if you feel as though a 13 is good enough. You could always use a luck die.
We're
Doxy,
out of luck die.
no, you're not. That was actually because we were
have
testing
one.
it. Mm-hmm. You do have luck die. Actually, give me 1 second. So, Doxy, if you don't know how to roll luck die now, because it has changed, what you're going to do is under the hamburger or collections tab in Roll20, add to your bar at the bottom the roll luck die command.
What?
So in Roll20, the hamburger menu, the 3 little lines have dots at the end.
Okay.
You see, there's going to be a button. There's going to be a command there called Luck Pool. Click in bar next to that, and it drops it to the bottom of your Roll20 screen. So now you have a button.
Dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you can roll luck that way. Oh no, sorry, not Luck Pool. I'm so sorry. Unclick that one. It's Roll Luck.
Yeah, that's the only one
we
that
don't
I
have
have.
Yeah, they don't have access to any of them.
Perfect. I have a bunch.
Translated it from Scott to reality.
A very important skill to have.
Oh God.
When playing
Who
with
loves
Scott.
you, baby?
Hey, listen,
Okay.
that is literally a family member kind of reference. Okay. Oh God. It's I'm not even joking. In like family group texts, you have family members will say, "Can someone translate Scott?" And usually someone like say my brother's wife will jump up and be like, "I got this." Oh, it's amazing.
He likes the pattern of the jammer pants you got him, but they're a size too big.
Could you go ahead and click that button so we can see how you impact your roll? Thank you.
16.
So yeah, +3 to that is beautiful. So with a 16, and now from now on, Doxy, when you know how much luck you have, instead of looking at group pool where you can erase it from there, you'll actually just see it, and you only know after the first time you roll luck after a while, right?
Fucking gorgeous. I love that.
Yeah, so big love to Josh once again. You can find it over on twitch.tv/unfunnyon. If you don't want to be amused, but you do want to be entertained.
Ouch. But true. It's fair. It's very fair.
So you guys, so you're walk up to the guard, and just kind of like the way you're portraying this, I imagine just because of the way that she does things, she's actually very physical as well. So your stunt actually got doubled. You got 4 stunt points because you do have a stunt double going on. Did you want to use any of those other features as well?
Let me look real quick because I feel like we could probably use every bit of help we can get with this.
And to those of you in chat that are doing stunt double, first of all, thank you. And second of all, could you just go ahead and tell me PC or DM when you're doing it, as opposed to just like say 1, 2, 3. Even if you just want PC, you could do PC1, PC2, PC3. You know what I mean? Just so I know if the stunt double is meant for me or for them. That's all. Thank you.
Who's PC1?
Like one for the PCs to pull from.
It's Doxy. We know.
Yeah, well, of course, it's always unless it's combat. Unless it's combat.
It still might be Doxy.
What are we talking about?
Your
guys have said
greatness.
my name like 100 times.
We're literally talking about how you're number one.
Yeah.
Whatever. Silly.
I mean, it is true. Yeah.
Okay.
We have 3 campaigns. There's 9 cast members in total. We know that you're up there as number 1, and we definitely
Tyler.
no.
No.
Tyler might be number 3. You know what I mean? And we definitely know, especially if you ask certain people in the community, Neil's right here. Like if you got Doxy, Neil is down. He's in the bottom 3, no question. Yeah.
That's okay. I can keep him company there.
Don't worry, John in Norway. I got you.
All right.
So Foxy, how do you want to spend your 4 stunt?
Tower of Will.
Tower of Will, beautiful. So, like I said, your character's pretty, you're pretty physical in how it is that she usually interacts with people. There's no question that like it's one of those like I just had a bad day. You can imagine just the way that she shifts her body, like shifts her weight, just kind of exasperated, looking just so tired, which is true. She literally got very little sleep from yesterday to today. There's literally like dirt on her. You can see that she is not the same put together woman that you generally find, like all elegant and stuff. She is out of sorts. And you could almost imagine it's one of those things where as soon as she sees like his face shift or one of the faces shift, she sees that blood in the water and she leans to it. She like turns towards them, maybe even like leans in, places a hand on the shoulder, sort of a thing. And she definitely sways over the masses. So if everybody here isn't convinced, it doesn't matter. Same as before. If there's that one guy that's like, I don't know, shut up. You know, so you very much convince them like, I'm just like a sad girl that just had a really bad
It was
day.
supposed to be such a good day.
Yeah.
Meeting the prince himself.
And you know, again, it was ruined. Can you make my day a little better? And they're like, yeah, I would love to. Please let me. And so that they very much just kind of let you guys pass. No issues whatsoever. It's one of those things too, where again, Oscar, I imagine, is sitting there like, if any of my soldiers ever allowed.
Mm-hmm.
And
But
Laszlo's sitting there like, yep, I get it.
She has had a
promise.
bad day. Oh!
I do promise, gentlemen, that the next time I come through fully stocked, you will each get a bottle of Luther.
It's one of those, you fulfill a promise that's unfulfillable. And so you make a promise that's unfulfillable, and they
I'm never
appreciate
going to
it.
come through stocked, so it doesn't matter.
They're all happy, and you're able to go on the other side. Once you get to the other side of Yovance, it's one of those things where those guards, do you maintain a story, or are you straight up with them? Do you just tell them the truth?
Spies coming through.
Yeah, I mean, you can, if you're just going to tell them the truth, this is a super easy DC, Docs. We're talking
Right.
average for them, so it's just an 11.
On communication?
Yeah, just to make them not really bog you down or anything. Yep, you got it. And don't worry about stunts, doubling it or anything like that here. It doesn't need to be. We're going to save. So you just make it through, no problems. Now you guys are actually inside Yovance. And from here, we don't need to really worry about the nitty gritty like we have been up until this point. You more just want to have an impact on what's going on. So first and foremost, if you want to start to get a leave an impression to any degree in the area, I have to ask this. Would you want to start with a big fish in a small pond to start your kind of like your reputation going outwards? Or do you want to say, no, I'm going to go diving straight into the deep end and see what I can make happen?
Definitely big fish, small pond.
Okay.
Because they're like, hear out my explanation, just in case even the boys have any resignation towards this. I think that it's important because not only are they going to want to impress anybody that comes through that is like important or whatever, but they're also going to be the person worth knowing in that town. So they're going to know important people from other towns, right?
Exactly. True.
So starting our network with one fly in the web We're gonna go for the big fat one on the end.
Okay, perfect. So I need all of you guys to roll me, and there's different DCs for different people depending on your backstories. All of you guys can actually roll me. I think it's historical lore is the best roll to understand these sorts of things in the area. I'm just double checking the PDF right now. If you feel otherwise, please let me know since we're all new to the campaign system. I think it's knowledge. Because there's like no, cultural lore. My apologies. I was saying historical before. Cultural lore would make sense. So knowledge, intelligence, cultural lore. Yep.
This is a lore check for me, by the way. Just FYI.
It doesn't matter. It does not matter what we roll. Someone has rolled 656 plus 4. Wonder who that was. That's
Josh, yours
17 plus 4.
yours specifically says cultural lore on it.
Yeah, it's all lore checks. Yeah, I'm a scholar of lore.
Oh my god, you have a +2 in everything?
It's no. That I just get more information when I succeed. That's it. That's all.
So it's one of those things where like if you succeed, I'm gonna have to spill a little bit more beans than I otherwise would.
Yeah, that's it.
It's like 1 degree of success higher or something like that.
Gotcha.
Something like that. It says that I studied hard. If I make a success on an intelligence test with a lore focus, the DM should give you extra information on the topic.
So can we just shut up for a second and talk about how Doxy got a 21?
Yeah, no, with
Nice.
6
six
stunt points.
stunt points too.
6 stunt points, not only 6 stunt points, but there's also currently 2 stunt doubles active at the moment. So listen, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna say like kind of like everybody's talking about the region and all like the little rumors that they heard. And Doxy's like listening to the cute rumors that they've heard. And it's one of those things where it's like, oh, I didn't hear that happened in that town. And it's one of those like, thanks for the innocuous detail. But she knows so much about this region. I mean, she just spent so much time talking about the area out of just like interest, point of fact, kind of like side conversations, while of course over in Ascaria and dealing with the high up wealthy oligarchy that's over there as well. So she has so much info. We're gonna of course say degree of success. You literally the maximum degree of success that could possibly exist in the game with the broken stunt double mechanic. So, and a 21 means I think you beat, what's that DC there? Nigh impossible. Well, I don't even know where to go from here. So first and foremost, you do know that along that huge lake that's nearby, and let me pull everybody over to the map so we can all kind of see what I'm talking about here. Here we go. So over by that lake that we've always talked about in the past, there is a town that really catches your attention by the name of Strandano. Okay. Strandano is a town that, while not being particularly important overall in the region, around that lake, there's not really a lot of slavery that exists there. There's not a lot of slave trade that exists there. It's a lot of very small, like thorps and villages and stuff like that exist for the sake of just people that are fishers and so on and so forth. There might be like a house servant or something like that, but not like a plantation of slaves, right? But Strandano, the person that happens to lead that town, he first and foremost has by and far the biggest fishing market, runs the biggest fishing business that exists on that lake, which is important for the amount of food that they're able to procure. And remember, they don't give it to, sell to the military for the sake of the military actions and whatnot going on, meaning they have a lot of money in a relatively unimportant area. Beyond that, this person was able to finagle themselves into such a position that they're actually able to be the person that runs the slave trade market in Strandano, the only one that covers more or less from Strandano to the east, west, and north. So it's the biggest market in the area. Granted, it's not huge compared to what you're going to be able to find down south, but still very important in the area. So, and they might not have a lot there, but again, it's important in the area. So you know that, and you know that's a super important thing. But funny enough, Doxy, while you're thinking about going there and everything, you actually hear a rumor, because again, you rolled ridiculously high, while going through Ticapro. So Tico
Capro?
Yeah, Ticapro. Something like that. I don't remember my words. While going through that city that's there, you actually heard a rumor, kind of like putting 2 and 2 together, what other people were talking about, that the leader of that place, literally in a matter of like a week ago, was found dead in his bedchambers. The rumor is that somebody had come a calling, actually, specifically, somebody, a diamond, had come a calling, strutting their stuff through the area, trying to make like a big statement, and actually got invited to that man's estate. Spent a day there with her own servants and so on and so forth. And well, he invited for her to spend the night, and she was more than happy to do so. The next day, she left, saying like, "Oh, he's resting, leave him be, so on and so forth," and made her way out of there. And after a day or so of nobody ever seeing him leave the chambers, eventually the servants unlocked the door and looked inside, and there he lied dead in his bed.
I think somebody sent a ruby after that guy, guys.
What's a ruby?
That nobody would know. These rubies are secret information. So, so either way, so that's actually something that where that he probably would have been the prime target, the big fish in the small pond, if you will. Considering the pun there, go Scott. You actually are able to. He's dead. So this leaves one of two options for you, Doxy. One,
That's the guy in charge of the fishing?
the fishing and the slave trade market. So this
Okay.
leaves one of two options. You also know that this guy had no next of kin, had no children, had no spouse, had no cousins or anything in the area. So this leaves two options. One, there's a bit of a power vacuum that you can try to go there and to some degree take advantage of to your benefit, working this ploy, or whoa, that might get too bogged down to invest it into something that could have its own like almost like Myers into it, right? You might want to instead go down to the city of Alina, which is, sorry, not Alina, my apologies, Villano, which is directly south of there, which is going to be where you find, once again, that next big fish, small pond. It's just a slightly bigger pond. It's slightly smaller fish comparatively.
All right, I need the fisherman's name real quick. Sorry.
I am trying to remember that fisherman's name.
I don't remember him either.
I
That was a month ago.
Sorry, the who now?
How do you know the fisherman's name?
I don't.
I honestly don't. We're going to, just for the sake of now, and I'll find it later on. We're going to call him Stalin.
Stalin, got it.
I understood that. I understood that joke, and I don't like it.
It works in two ways. So.
It really does, and I'm not happy about it.
You're welcome. Oh.
I say we go to Strondano. It will be terribly exciting. A bit dangerous, but very exciting. And we have a lot of potential to make some real change there.
I need to get my stuff first.
It's gonna take like a week.
Yeah, I know. You want me to be effective at all? I need my stuff.
Can we maybe get you
If we were, sorry, out of character really quickly, Scott, I'm so sorry I meant to ask this question a minute ago. Would we be able to make it to some sort of memorial service if we headed to Strondano right now?
Oh, he's been dead for about a week or so that you've heard.
That's perfect.
So maybe, but again, you got a 21 and 12 stunt. You know that nobody really likes this guy. So if there was a memorial service, it's a lip service. Nobody likes it.
Right, but everybody pretends to like this guy, right? Because
he was
bad
one of those
form to not.
Yeah, he was one of those people that you kind of had to while he was alive, but nobody really liked this guy.
Right.
That's the kind of funeral that no one actually shows up to.
Yeah,
Not true.
I stand by that
It's
statement.
If he
it's
was
a business thing, though.
He's a
No,
big fish in a
people go.
small pond, so some people would go, but not necessarily like mountains of people. Because if he was even just a medium fish in like a bigger pond, definitely people would come pouring in, like Doxy's saying. But like with this scenario here, you imagine people are showing up aren't necessarily showing up out of respect. They're showing up out of
Information.
Yep, and also, so what's
There's
happening
a
to his
power
estate?
vacuum.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
But we need to take it.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm not saying it's a bad. This is Will speaking for
Okay.
the moment. This is not necessarily. I'm not saying it's a bad thing that there aren't going to be a lot of people showing up. I actually am suggesting that it might be a good thing.
It is. It's Horinor Enrique.
Mm-hmm.
And his nickname is Nori. That is true. Celsior. Celsior, I told you, as soon as I saw your name in chat, I immediately went live because I love you, man. Lots of love.
So, can we just buy you a new shield for now?
No, not 19 gold. However, we shouldn't need it.
We still have the Josen issue. That's not resolved. And a border's not going to stop him.
I would feel much more comfortable with my weaponry. I am okay with stopping by at Strandano before we go any further in. That's fine, but we can't get mired into it. We need to be able to go back and get my stuff after that.
Absolutely. It will be
I'm okay with that.
a one-day stay.
I do need a shield. We need to find, like, because look, this will work fine, and he's still like actually wielding the barrel lid as a shield right now. This will be fine, but it is
Kasson
not
makes like
sufficient.
like a sad sound and like runs a finger along a mar.
It gets caught on a small bit of that guy's neck that was left.
The barrel lid was very
Flicks
clean. I'm sure.
Well,
Perhaps
can
we
you
can
think?
procure you a shield if we play the right cards.
I'm just saying as well, I don't exactly look very impressive with a barrel lid for a shield right now.
You will not be bringing it into the city, I don't think.
Then I'm gonna need a shield before that. Have we actually like left the border crossing yet?
I feel like we're talking on the road, right?
Yeah. You got
I would
again.
think so.
I just specifically mentioned when you gone through Tico, whatever. Then
Yeah.
so yeah, it's one of those things where you guys are probably over in that area.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you struggled pronouncing it last time too.
You won't need
Tika
a
Capro.
shield,
Tika Capro.
Oscar. We are not going to get into any kind of confrontation.
Oscar looks at you just not believing it at all. Like his face is just fully like,
I mean, you guys got into a fight going in to grab something, going into a town and grabbing.
to be fair, that
body.
was
A dead body!
to be fair, that was to grab a body. That's a
responsible
fairly
for.
conspicuous thing to grab.
Which,
There was a
might
high
I
likelihood
add,
of-
was a decision
combat.
that was made without me because we don't listen to me and we don't succeed at things. We're
I-
going to do this and we're going to succeed,
I
or I'm
appreciate
going to
that.
be very cross again.
I do need a shield. In order to protect you effectively, I need a shield.
You should use your ego. It is unbreakable.
That is not true.
Actually,
An
really
ego
funny.
is just a figment of one's imagination and is completely useless in self-defense.
I lost my composure and I didn't mean it. You are a wonderful man. Just
That
a
is-
shield will not be necessary and you can spend the entire time there looking for one. I won't need you.
Maybe I could work at a magic shop or something, and maybe we could
I could
cheapen
just
the
go
price.
hunt a monster and ask for a shield as recompense.
Interjection. You could also try to have it delivered.
We could send a broken bastard sword.
I don't want to use
Let me
that
just
for an
reach into
errand.
the trunk of broken bastard swords that we keep.
I mean, I imagine people don't keep broken bastard swords in stores. We could probably pick one out of a trash, right?
That's
I mean,
not.
Okay. The bastard
Lord.
sword thing was specifically for the capital of Malta.
That's to go to.
Yeah, you're talking about. I think Saul is where you let. No, it wasn't Saul, was it? It was
It was the city of
Ace-
the north.
yeah, Aces, yeah.
Yeah. I just need to send a letter. Like I don't know. I don't need to send a letter to the capital to get my shield back.
I mean, is it really gonna make a difference? Your
What
shield?
if,
Is it magic?
gentlemen, what if we stayed in Strandano for a few days and sent for your things?
I'm fine with that too. I just need this stuff. I don't really care how we get it to us.
It's
That's not a
settled. We'll
problem.
do what I said in the first place then.
That's not what you said in the first place. I just said I need my stuff, and then. you
Hi-ya!
decided to get it
Hi-ya!
to us. So I can appreciate that what you wanted to do was probably that, but you didn't explain that to me.
There,
So I had missing information. If you tell me all the information, I have no problem. But until I have that information, I can't be on board with things.
Oh, being on board
You
with
get it? Bored
You
is
get
shield?
very used to not
It's a
being on
joke.
board with decisions.
it's a joke about shields and being boards. No? All right. Well, you know what? I tried to lighten the mood and it didn't work. Let's just continue.
Oh, I'm positively elated.
I believe you fully.
Can I summon a ghost? Have someone else talk to me.
I want out of this conversation.
She is actually in high spirits. She's just really busting your balls.
Yeah, he's just not like,
As playful as her.
Yeah. It's also just he's not super receptive right now. He feels he's still feeling a little nervous, and that's actually probably pretty clear to you. I don't know if it would be necessarily clear to Laszlo, but he's
Oh no, Laszlo's awkward as hell when it comes to like conversations.
you can probably pick up that he's still feeling nervous about the Josen situation. As soon as Josen was mentioned, that was very much what he was reacting to. So
Emotions soar. So correct me if I'm wrong. The plan is for you guys to head to Strandano and to collect the shield. You're sending for your people to bring it here. Or we'll just collect it afterwards.
I'm gonna send a letter.
Because you can send a letter out of Tico Capro. Yeah, you can send a letter out of there.
To get them to meet me in Strandano with it.
Yeah, I mean, you're in Yovance, so you can send somebody to Yovance to the front lines that are over there. Somebody there can, and blah, 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 blah. It'll take a little bit of time to have it delivered, but it's something that can be done. Now, here's the question. If you're going to be sending somebody to do that for you, with what assets?
We have some gold. Yeah.
Do you?
You have 19 gold.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So you just toss a coin. You toss maybe like 2 coins or whatever to them. So
Toss a coin to your postman.
Yep.
They need it right now, actually.
They
Yeah.
do, honestly. Yeah. It's tough times. It's tough times.
it was. I got a
Don't make me get
delivery
political.
today. I got a delivery today by and it's just instinct. Like you try to be like not a shitty person. So they're bringing like 3 boxes in from Target, right? Because you try to do as much online shopping as you can. So I was like, oh, thanks. And I went to go take it from him, and he goes, no. And I was like, sorry, I'm invading your personal space, trying to lighten your load for you. Can you put it down right there? So awkward.
They bring it like they leave it at the doorstep.
No, I know.
And then
I
they
was
stand down
I was outside. I was with my daughter
Oh,
riding a
okay.
bicycle, So I was like, oh, I'll take it from you. Haha. Like, no. Like, you're going to kill me. I was like, oh, sorry.
Yeah, I feel for them because like the delivery people that come to my house, they feel awkward putting you in that situation as well. So it's like this mutually like, I'm sorry, we're like 18 feet apart and we have to yell. But, thanks.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Super weird. Almost one of those like, I made you cookies. Do you want some?
It's not a funny joke.
No, I know it's terrible. You want to show appreciation, but they can't accept it. All right. Anyways, so that's the plan. With the plan being understood, your character's heading now through Tiki Capro and into Strandano. We're going to take our first break. When we come back, we'll have the characters walking into Strandano, unless of course there's something else that they want to argue about between here and there. So
Furthermore, no.
And another thing.
I feel like so for those of you that have been here for a long time, please correct me if I'm wrong. Thank you for watching Aurorum Thronekeeper. This is, of course, Season 1, Session 8, Part 1, where we have our wonderful Laszlo being played by Aldirance. We, of course, have Oscar being played by Kunsai, and we have Chrysellen being played by Rinsen. Do we get that kind of... Come on, guys.
That?
Do we see that?
I know that joke.
Oh, he's so much skinnier than me.
I will gladly take the Eric reference, though. That's very good.
He
Feel
has
like-
so much more hair.
I'm flattered. Legit.
All right.
Aaron's a
Same.
powerhouse.
See y'all soon.
Also, apparently we're engaged, Doxy. So,
Double win for you.
yeah.